The Rogue Prince of Persia is a vibrant reinterpretation of Persia. In this story, the prince must find a way to stop an invasion of Huns wielding dark shamanic magic, face his own shortcomings, and regain the trust of his family to become the hero he always wanted to be. The story is told by dialogues between the prince and NPCs. The plot is really thin, and that is okay because the focus of this game is on the gameplay, and boy is the gameplay good. The Rogue Prince of Persia is a 2D side-scrolling roguelite game, which means that if you die, you start the game from scratch again, and the levels will be slightly different, so you have to complete the game in one sitting without any save or checkpoints. In addition to not having any save points, you also have very little health, so you need to be very strategic with your resources. Just simply said, the game is hard, you are gonna die a lot, and you are really gonna struggle at times, because the battle at times are hard, but so are the platform elements. However, if you are a very good player, you could complete the game in maybe 1 hour, because there are only 4 levels that you need to clear and 2 bosses that you need to defeat. It took me around 12 hours to complete the game, but this was also because I was going for the true ending and was going for all the objectives in the map. But despite dying so much, I could not put my controller away, because the game is just so addicting. The brilliance of this game lies in its simplicity, because the prince has access to maybe just a number of parkour moves such as wall jumping, wall running, swinging and jumping off poles and more, and this goes the same for the combat. The combat involves melee and range attacks, kicks that send enemies backwards, and dodging by vaulting over enemies. The prince is armed with a primary and a secondary weapon, so in other words there aren't a ton of moves, but the gameplay is just so fluid, which makes it so good. The movement of the prince is so directive to your input, and that also goes for the combat. You can jump from the air down to an enemy, start using your melee attack on a group, and hit the enemy in the back. It is really hard to describe what makes the combat so much fun, as when the first time I looked at it I wasn't impressed by it, but as soon as I started to play the game, you cannot stop anymore. Another thing what makes the game really fun is the different loadouts that you can make. As you progress in the game, you will collect medallions which can be further used to augment the prince's weapons, and these augments can be, for example, that when the prince kicks an enemy, the enemy will be hit with poison. You can make very different builds for the prince, and I have one build where the prince is truly OP, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next video. There are some things which I didn't like about the game, but I need to state first that this game is still in early access, so it's maybe not fair for me to point these things out, but there are some major bugs in the game. For example, I wasn't able to forge a very special medallion because of some bug. Some other thing which I don't like is that the whole game only has 2 boss fights and that there are only 4 levels. The game is built that you need to replay the same levels multiple times, so it can be justified that there are a very limited amount of levels, but in my opinion there should have been more to increase the longevity of the game. However, the game only costs $20, so maybe this is what you get for that price nowadays. Overall, I have really enjoyed the game. I cannot emphasize how much I have liked the game, the fast gameplay, the fluid movement of the game, and especially the builds that you can make with the medallions. Also, this game has some of the best music. I would recommend this game at launch. Even in early access, this game is really good. I am giving this game a 9. Let me know in the comments if this review was helpful.